What is going on, guys? It is your boy Cash, and I know it's been a while on this channel, but I wanted to, there's just so much that's been going on. Obviously the move, and then I was focusing on the main channel, but more specifically the bots and everything else that was going on in this game. It just made me unmotivated to play, especially not record. I didn't have a new deck, I didn't have anything like that, but I've been working hard on my account on the side, at least doing the dailies so I can get some resources, and I came up with this deck. This is probably by far one of my favorite decks to play, and it is convoluted as hell, but it's like one of those combo-ish decks that I feel like you don't really get to see that often. So I really wanted to hear it, explain it, and then give you guys an in-match replay that is going to show you exactly how the kind of deck runs and flows. But I wanted to give a brief synopsis of how it works as well. Wait, don't I have 3 of these? Wait, I don't. Okay, I lied. I thought I had 3. Anywho, it's focused around 2 different archetypes, and one archetype that I won't go too deep into is the Thunder Dragon. I think you guys are pretty much familiar with it. The Thunder Dragon, it's kind of like a Banish archetype, but it's about having these cards. They have effects in the hand that they can be discarded because of these 2 bad boys, Thunder Dragon Colossus and the Thunder Dragon Titan. Both of these cards are phenomenal, right? We know how these cards work. We've seen them 1,000 times. They have their own like full-fleshed archetype. Like if I click related cards, there's a couple other ones that I want. Like obviously this one would be phenomenal, Thunder Dragon Matrix. I might craft this one and kind of like slim the deck down a little bit, and give it some more Thunder Dragon support. Because sometimes when you're running 2 mixtures of 2 different decks, it kind of gets a little hairy, not gonna lie. But we're running that. We're running the Thunder Dragon Fusion, 3 copies of that. We're running, I have 2 Titans because I used to have 3 and I was like, why? Why do we have 3? But as I said, real quick, is that they have, all the Thunder Dragons have an effect in hand because it can easily trigger the Titan's effect, that when a Thunder Monster's effect is activated in hand, you can pop a card. But more specifically, this card, the Colossus, is so easy to get out. During the turn, a Thunder Monster effect was activated. So you activate a Thunder Monster's effect in hand, then you contribute a Thunder effect non-fusion monster that is on the field. So you activate one in hand, and then it doesn't matter, as long as there's some type of Thunder Monster that's not a fusion monster on the field, you can bring out the Thunder Colossus. This card locks the opponent out of adding cards from their main deck except by drawing them, so it locks them pretty snashty. One of the reasons why I really like the card. So really cool. That's just, you know, basic of this one. When it's banished, you get to add a Thunder Dragon card to your hand, which could be any of the Thunder Dragons, plus the Thunder Dragon Fusion, which is pretty that's such a loophole, it's insane. This one is the one that allows you to shuffle cards. Yeah, shuffle any amount of cards in your hand and then draw, so it allows you to take a bad hand and make it good again, which is really cool. But you can also discard it to special summon one of the Thunder Dragon monsters that is banished in the graveyard. This one's probably the best one, that's why it's limited to 1. This one is the one that you can add a Thunder Dragon card that is banished or in the graveyard. Card, again, you can get the fusion if you want to, and with the discard effect, but if it gets banished, you can special summon a Thunder Dragon from your deck in defense position, and then you can utilize that. So if you use that and then use this card, you banish it somehow, and then get a Dragon monster on the field, boom, there goes Colossus. it's pretty nasty. It really is. But that is kind of like the Thunder Dragon package. That's another reason why we're running Dimensional Fissure, is because of the fact that the Thunder Dragons getting removed from play have pretty cool effects. So that's why we're using that. But the other archetype that we're using here that you don't see as often, that I think that needs to be used a lot more, is the Metaphys package. That's why the deck is called Meta, because I first made a Metaphys deck and then I started adding other things. I also think Chaos kind of deck would work with this, but I haven't gotten to that point yet. So the Metaphys monsters have 2 effects. They have one effect that if they're special summoned by a Metaphys monster, they have one. So the Tyrant Dragon, if he gets special summon from it, they're unaffected by traps, and he can make 2 attacks on monsters. Where are the other ones? Metaphys comes out if it's can banish all set cards on the field. Very snasty, very nasty, depending on how it actually comes out. Whereas the other one, Daedalus, is my favorite. When he comes out, he banishes all other special summon monsters, and yes, including your own. But if you're using Metaphys or if you're using Thunder Dragon, usually that's a benefit to you, especially that's why we were running Necrophase. Perfectly awesome for you to do it, but not as good for them. And the other aspect of the monsters that they have is they have an effect when they are banished. So if this card is banished during the next standby phase, pretty much all the cards kind of read this. The next standby phase, it has an effect. So Tyrant Dragon, you shuffle a banished card. into the deck. You can you can shuffle this banished card into the deck, so that it goes from banished back into the deck, and then it has an effect. Special summon one Metaphys monster from the hand, and this is one of the ones. This is one of the monsters that actually can utilize, that could actually special summon other monsters. The Decoy Dragon, same thing. Decoy Dragon is a little bit different. It doesn't have an effect when it's special summoned from another Metaphys monster, but it's a Metaphys monster that special summons the other one. It just has to be attacked, or if it's since it's a pendulum, it will do that as well, but that won't be as the effect of a monster because it's a spell card at that point. I know this is very confusing, and I'm very, very sorry. I'm very sorry, but this is just the deck tech. It's explaining the deck, and then you'll see it in action. So this one is pretty cool. It's a tuner. It's one of the tuners in the deck. It allows you to normal summon or special summon, just banish 3 TRs right at the top, and it gains 300 for each Metaphys card. Obviously, you're trying to hit Metaphys cards because I just explained they have banish effects, so you kind of you're hoping to hit that. But if you don't, you're hoping to hit Necrophase. If you don't, you're hoping to hit the Thunder Dragon. So it kind of meshes with each other. Then if this card for some reason inflicts battle damage, you can special summon a level 5 or higher Metaphys monster from your deck, and most of the other Metaphys monsters are 5 or higher, so pretty cool. Their boss monster is the Metaphys Executioner, which I'm finding that more and more I don't actually get to use. I'm almost thinking about taking it out, but it's if you can have Metaphys monsters either 5 on the field or in the graveyard, you banish them, which obviously is a good thing. This card cannot be destroyed or banished by card effects, which is pretty cool. You have to attack into it. Once per turn, if your opponent controls more cards, not monsters, but more cards than you do, you can actually summon your Metaphys monsters, special summon it, and obviously that will be a special summon from a Metaphys monster, activating the other effects. So as you guys can see, I hope you get into the gist of it. It's a lot of banish. That's why, again, Dimension Fissure is here. That's why Necrophase is here. That's why Fairy Tale Snow is here, because Fairy Tale Snow, when it's in the graveyard, can banish 7 cards in the hand, field, or graveyard, and then special summon it. So I can banish my Thunder monsters, I can banish my Necrophase, I can also banish the Metaphys monsters in general, allowing them to use their effects. Same thing with Destructo Los Dragon. Same thing, if it's in the hand or graveyard, I can pay half my life points, target a level 6 or lower, and this is another tuner to get some of the tuners. Now the synchro monsters that I have are kind of scattered. It's just more like I'm trying to see what numbers I can hit. I've been able to consistently have 6 on the field, I've noticed, consistently have 8. I've even had 9, so and I've had 12. So I just kind of was testing out some things that I can use. As you can see, we're using a pile, so the Grass Looks Greener is phenomenal. Also, it's phenomenal because with Dimension Fissure on the field, the Grass Looks Greener actually will mill and banish my monsters while keeping my magic and traps in the graveyard. So I'm able to use the Thunder Dragon Fusion graveyard effect. I'm able to use some other cool effects. So I really like that. We are running like some other draw cards like Dark Ward Dealings. Again, if we discard a monster, one of the monsters in our hands, and Dimension Fissures out, it will then go banished, and then we get an effect off of that. That's why Reasoning is here. We have a ton of different monsters with different levels, so it's really hard for them to predict it. If we get a Metaphys monster for free, that's fantastic. If we don't, like if they guess it right, you know, then it gets, I think it gets banished or something like that, or this just goes to the graveyard, I think, if they get it right. So it's a plus on plus for us. It's a phenomenal card for us. We do have the Despot and we have the Gamma Frame just because, you know, it's not that bad, and we needed some other cards. I think if I gain more cards within this archetype, I think I would take some of these out, especially the Despot. But obviously we're running that because we're running Christian Haflex. And we're running the Despot to go into Auroradon and then start some other plays, which is another reason why I have some of these synchros in there. Haven't done that combo yet, but I'm trying to learn the main deck before I start going into some classic engines that I can literally look up online on how to make it work. So I know that those are good, but I'm trying to see what I can do with the original deck before I instantly go in for engine stuff. So if there's any other cards that you guys could mention that I could be putting in, please let me know. But I think that this is the first iteration of the deck that I'm really comfortable with. Dark Ruler no more, because some people's boards are stupid and we need to be able to stop their monster's effect on the thing. Metaphys Ascension, same thing. It's a nice trap. If it gets banished, it actually allows me to add a Metaphys card to my hand, which allows me to get any of my Metaphys cards, which is crazy. Discard 1 Metaphys card, draw 1, then banish a Metaphys monster from the deck. You guys already should understand how that works. This card is also pretty unique. If your opponent special summons a monster, this is a continuous trap. You can target one of your banished Metaphys monster, special summon it, and you guys know how that works. But what's really cool, if another Metaphys card in your owner's possession is banished while this card is face up on the field, I can target one card your opponent, not monster, not trap, just a card. I could choose either or and banish it. So it's a really snashty card to have out as you keep banishing monsters. I think it's once per turn though. Yeah, you can only do that once per turn, so it's not crazy. The field card also enables my opponent, which is when I first ran into this deck and I was like, that is absolutely annoying. So as I kept saying these Metaphys monsters, Metaphys monsters, Metaphys monsters, this field card allows you that your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to my monsters effects, so they go through. So which is really cool about Daedalus, like I said, most of the time once people realize he comes out, they're gonna try to stop it, but if the field card is out, they can't, and that's why we're running it. Outside of that, it doesn't do too much. The first effect is cool and all, but it rarely ever triggers. I get to normal summon the 5 or higher Metaphys monster, but it's very loose that it actually gets banished at the end of the next phase. So the end of the opponent's turn, it will get banished. It just never happens that way. It's just in the current meta. We're running Grand Maju Dazil because, you know, sometimes it pops off. It's a nice little one of, I think. I wouldn't run multiple copies of it. And that is essentially the deck. Any questions, just leave it in the comments. Like I said, this is a homebrew deck. I have not seen this. I usually see Thunder Dragon by itself. I saw Metaphys by itself, but I thought the archetype would work really cool together. Now, all right, so this is a spicy little match. I'll be pausing it at certain points just to re-explain certain stuff. This guy is playing Despia. You guys already know. Again, common archetype. He's gonna actually start off with the most, I don't know, this new card is a little bit too easy to summon, I'm just saying. Then with that one, pretty strong opener, honestly, for him. Now I'm playing 600 per activation of a card, which is absolutely annoying. So first I wanted to see, I noticed he didn't have a hand, so I was like, let's see what he has, to see if that triggers about anything. I didn't want to draw Necroface, because I'm going to use the Golden Sarcophagus to Necroface it, so okay, every little activation, I have to pay 600, which is really annoying. We're going to put the Despot face down because I really don't care what happens to it. I just wanted to block it. As annoying as this card is, Tyrant Dragon's effect got banished. Just going to pause real quick just so I can explain it. So Necroface banished the Tyrant Dragon effect in the... So when it got banished in the standby phase, it looks, like I said, this one looks for a card in my hand, a Metaphys monster in my hand, I can get a special summon. So that's why the Tyrant Dragon in my hand then gets special summon. So you have to really like hope that some cool cards. But he didn't read the fine print. I feel so bad for him. So he goes Dark Lord Rebellion. He discards his Morning Star, which technically, I'm not even gonna lie here, the best option for him was not to activate this effect. He could have normal summoned this, the Dark Star. This card is pretty snashty, and when it's actually normal summoned on the field. But he did not go with that. Instead, he tried to Dark Lord Rebellion my Tyrant Dragon, but Tyrant Dragon, when it is special summoned by a Metaphys monster, which it was special summoned by itself, it's unaffected by traps, and also could do like the thing. So he didn't read, which is common. You know, this is not a normal archetype that you fight against. So he's gonna fusion summon his things away, which I didn't agree with that either. Gonna fusion summon it away. He does get his Dramaturge back, and then he's gonna be able to put a Preda counter on my card with this card. And any card with a Preda counter cannot activate their effects. Fantastic. So I was like, oh, that's cool. But I think the other card is better because I would have lost a lot more HP. But that's going to be his turn. I would have been losing HP like constantly just trying to activate card effects. So next turn we draw the Dimension Fissure. I was like, oh baby. So now we have Necroface and Dimension Fissure. I like it. So I'm just going to throw that. I was actually trying to see something. So that was my misplay. I was wanting to see, because I haven't played it in a while, I wanted to see if the Thunder Dragon can get the other Thunder Dragons, like with the same name, but it can't. So that's why I did that. I wasn't trying to make my Necroface stronger or anything like that, but I figured that was a good after effect. Next one he's going to go up with is going to be the Quirk, and that one is a pretty nasty one again. The Dramaturge comes back, but he attacks into my Necroface, and then here we go. Again, I would have been losing 600 for each one of these. So every time this gets milled, it really depends on what gets banished for me. So I nicked another Necroface. Remember this trap card, when it gets banished, I get a Metaphys monster in my hand, and I also nilled a Decoy Dragon, sorry. So those are gonna activate. So we're gonna get even more banished. Then the Thunder Dragon Roar When this one gets banished, I get to summon a Thunder Dragon, so now he doesn't even get to touch my life points. That would have been 600, 600, 600, but apparently, you know, again, he decided this other line I think was a little bit weird. Even more banished cards, but that one we didn't really get too much. We did get that one. Allows me to get a Thunder Dragon card, which I used the Jugger Dragon Fusion for that. Doesn't push any life points damage, which is fantastic. So now it goes back to my turn. And now Decoy Dragon just special summons itself, which means, which is nasty because now, explaining Decoy Dragon real quick, is that if they attack into this card, I can take a Metaphys monster that is banished or in the graveyard. So I have the plethora that is in, well, not that many, but imagine there's a lot in there. So either or. So technically I can get out the Thunder Dragon. I can get the Tyrant Dragon out. So it's a really strong card for what it does, honestly. So now, wait, oh, I double clicked it, sorry. Thunder Dragon Fusion. We're gonna remove 3 of them because we have a Thunder Dragon in our hand. So boom. I don't know if that has to go in defense mode. I think I actually misclicked it and put it in defense mode. So since I did special summon that, and I actually was like, oh crap, he's gonna get this card, because when you special summon, if your opponent controls a actual thing, there's a quick effect. If they control any of those special things, he actually can special summon it, but now it's not a fusion summon monster, so now I don't have to pay 600. I was so scared of this card, but I didn't read the fine print. Another thing that I wanted to point out is that, actually no, there's nothing I want to point out. Now I'm using the Thunder Dragon to link into the, not to link, but to combo into the Titan to start popping off his cards. So boom, take that one out. Once I realized this thing wasn't pinging me 600, I can just use these Thunder Dragon effects. They are getting removed from play, which is fine. So I'm gonna use it again. And you can keep doing this as many times as you want, and that's gonna ping. Get that one out of the way. Get another Thunder Dragon. Now here I could have Necrophaced and then did 2 more Thunder Dragon pops. I did think about that actually. But I go with the Verte, which I think is a kind of a misplay. I was like, oh crap. But I know I had Monster Reborn, and I knew that I can go into the Kriston Halifax from here. So I opt to. Misread this card actually too, because it's a level 3 or lower. The Ragnarok is what I was trying to get, and that one is actually level 4. So then we're gonna use the Necrophase to bring all the cards back. But like I said, I could have did that earlier first, and then I would have been able to get 2 more pings, and I would have been able to ping this, and then I would have been able to ping this, and he would have been naked, right? So that is a misplay, but Necrophase is still pretty strong. We had a lot of cards out on his that we banished through the triple Necrophase, I think almost. No, just 2 of them. So boom, we're gonna go up to 4,400 to be able to attack against that, which is fine. Attack into his face with Kriston. Now I'm gonna actually synchro the Metaphys Horus, which I didn't really go over because he's a weird, awkward card. So Metaphys Horus, and then that makes me trigger the Necrophase again, right? Metaphys Horus, depending on what monsters you use to synchro summon it, it has different effects. I've actually messed this up before. Now if you do an effect monster, I can take any card in the field and negate its effect, which is pretty cool. The other one that you usually get is the Pendulum, and then your opponent choose one monster, they get control of it. It can't attack this turn, but it's mine forever, which is pretty snasty. And usually the one that you're fusing that one with is the Decoy Dragon and a 4-star, and that's usually how you get that one out. So we're gonna negate his field card. So at the very least, if he wants to utilize it again, he has to then actually put another one. He can't use the one that's currently on the field. So of course we got 2 hits. Thunder Dragon Dark gives us a dragon card, Thunder Dragon card in the hand, and that one lets me special summon another one. And then I use this one to make the Dragon Colossus, because the Thunder Dragon effect was used in the hand sometime during a while ago. Then when that one gets banished, we get to shuffle. As you can see, like the 2 decks really work that well together. Metaphys Factor is gonna come out, and now he cannot negate any of my. He can't respond, sorry, to any of my effects. Daedalus, when it's banished, I get to banish another card. I banished the Decoy Dragon because it's a safety thing. He's pretty much screwed, so I'm like, I don't really need to progress or do too much extra stuff. I just need a card that's gonna keep coming back. He obviously has no answer for the Dimension Fissure, or else he would have did that a long time ago. Now he's going to do a nice play I actually agree with. He's gonna do the Call of the Haunted into the double fairy summon because of Serbia. And I'm just gonna be like, okay, that's cool. That's cool. And then we're gonna just make the Thunder Dragon Titan. And that one got banished. Special summon another one. We're gonna use this. Going to access code talker. This is just me, honestly, just testing out what I can do. I also could have went with another card that's in here. I'm just gonna attack over him, which is this one, the Topologics de Ouroboros. Really strong card. Really strong card. With all the banishing that I'm doing, it's absolutely nuts what this card could do. I could have summoned that one again, but it would have banished all my cards. It banishes every card in the field, which would have banished my Dimension Fissure. This was funny. And he was just showing me that he drew 2 of the field cards, so that's the end of that one. So pretty fantastic. But I think that kind of shows the entire deck, and I think that that's what I wanted to show. And sometimes I lose every once in a while, but sometimes I want to show the deck. I don't really care if I win or lose, but I want to show you how the deck works. Not that you can just randomly build it out of nowhere, but at least you can see how cool it is and the coolest it can possibly be. Like I said, a lot of these things, like this card's phenomenal. You guys know Light and Dark's in the graveyard. You can boom, special summon it right back on the field, but banish it when it leaves. But then I can bring it back with Necrophage. Like, there's so many cool little weird awkward things. Even a Geomath mech is a pretty cool, like, random push for lethal kind of thing. But any suggestions that you guys have that you want to put into this deck that I can switch in, or do you think the Chaos would work? Maybe Thunder Dragon Chaos, or I want to. Metaphys is not going away, right? I'm not taking that archetype out. But what do you think could work better with the Metaphys monsters? I thought Thunder Dragon was a pretty good one, but maybe Chaos will work better with it. Let me know. Let me know in the comment section below. If you guys enjoyed, I should have said, hey, like, comment, subscribe. It would mean the world to me. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.